Mm. Hmm.
We have a this game. It's a little magic, right? The full explainer is in the full web article. I mean, but we can't. Below. Mesa. That's cool. Uh, I know. I think yeah, you did share that, and I was like, oh, yeah, I should just do that. But luckily, the way that my project is set up is that in my network for a pickup component, so the way in this his physics, he owns himself for all the ragdolling. That's down. Your yeah, okay, and we're gonna start. Three, two. Yeah, I saw your chat. Wow, this is really cool that we're now Rat and Endu. Wee! On frames, you must be on a monster machine. So far, I just yeah, I've seen you try to jump in. Fine, just hanging out. All right. Go three, two, one, jump. See if we can catch a rock. Ready? Three, toss it back to me. I'm better at catching it. Please. Nice. The Atlantic Ocean. It just collided. You see that? Well, back me. You see some jitter. That's okay. It's acceptable. We're all doing the physics bodies, and we're done. 2D physics. If you in the car, oh, we desync for a sec. Ooh, okay, let's try. Add some lag. Yeah, you're definitely like so this is the proposed solution. Right now, you have full physics over yourself when you're in the car. I am telling the card where to be. Well, me is seat. So if you sit, I can tell your character to like, hey, nah, you know what? Turn off your updates for a minute. You're static, and your physics will run on your machine. At that point, getting destroyed. The trajectory of the weapon slot can be very influenced by predicting mouse's head center challenge tweaks. We will go over how to predict simple paths as well as the challenges there are to predicting bosses. We use that to make our projectile guiding lines. Yeah, I've got
Oh, I pop in for a smidge at least. Crazily faith I raised above ahoy ahoy. Yeah, I hear you. 2 minutes ago, you say you crazily phased, crazily. Wow, you're rhyming here. I believe you did. I recognize your icon. I think yeah, you've definitely been here previously. Um, yeah, we're actually doing a little bit of content management right now. Oh yeah, there you are. You're on this YouTube video too. Um, yeah, I was just on this page and I saw your comment here. So, wow, very cool. We're making some. We gotta keep making this content because it's useful to people. So it's a lot of work though to you know do all this stuff. It's like now I see the mushrooms. They live. I was here yonder during the river deletion and reconstruction. That's right. We are actually also got a really cool what did I call this lake? I've got a lake small. I've got a I might want to work on this. Look at these. We got some vibes here. What I did do was on our world node, I always intended it to be like this. When we click this, we can choose, it's just an empty node that is responsible for spawning in river, lake, or lake small. I'm going to select lake small. And let's look at what we've got on the debug. Yeah, this is fine, but let's cut down to 2 instances. And I haven't added any mushrooms here, but we are gonna make like a little like lobby that people can like fish in. I think that's kind of what I want to do. And what's really funny is I fucked up all the code making a video, so we have to get these out of the way. We gotta force quit this stuff. It's funny. The vibes in general strong and the aesthetics. So yeah, we're gonna make a nice lobby. So if you've ever played something like Peak, you know that yeah, no, garbage time. Oh no, I've done this all on the branch. Okay, we have to repair our code. Okay. So don't make demos on your actual feature branch. That's the lesson that we're about to learn. Let's see if I can't just preview this. So I can look at my I'm gonna throw up the whole screen here, and we will look at this git diff. We're gonna do some programming. How do you get rid of a commit? Git remove commit. Soft head. This is exactly what I want. God damn you. Unstage. I need to unstage. RM. Get restore stage. Get reset. There we go. All right, so now we can run diff on network. So what do we do here? I think we reordered these functions and we just blew it up. It's just reordering. That should all work. We're having so much fun real quick. Global? That's fine. Oh man, we did so much work. Fucking shit. How did this happen to me? I made a mistake. Oh, no, Andrew. Andrew, no. No, you've hurt yourself so badly. How did you do this? Do not cleanse your mind with this. This is crowding my mind. I did a refactor. Look at the last commit. Are these not smushed? These are all smushed. I'd rather have them all. Add new cart pull V2. How the fuck did we get here? This is way early, number 20, and this is 21. So we've gotten into a state where we might actually think about git stash and did I run both of those commands? I think I really fucked up my tree here. How do I not lose my work best without going insane? Sorry for the slow start here, but God damn it, Andrew. We have a lot of untracked files that rebase, and I was like wondering, yeah. What I want to do is I'm going to git checkout B, backup just the just the lake, okay? And push. Don't worry. Can you git stash and undo the commit, or is it multiple commits? I've actually just basically did my latest YouTube video on a feature branch. And I was like, I'll just, throw these edits. And I was trying to unstage and do a git diff on some of the small tweaks that I made for that video. And of course, please never film on your feature branch. And now I've got to like go back and like test what we have, look at the git log here, reload. Don't save any of this. We put it up to a backup branch, so we can pull. All right, number 21. We've merged in 21. We accidentally unstaged. We're trying to roll back one, but we rolled back a main commit, which is now we go git checkout B feet lake map. We're gonna make a nice lake map, and I'm very excited about this. And now we just simply, okay, I guess you can't see because of the stupid, I've got this little GIF playing. We can make that smaller. Can't see my commands. It's funny. What I'm going to do, though, is a couple of different things. We're simply going to check this out. And I think we'll be back to, like, basically the demo that you and I played. Thanks for helping me test that, by the way. That was delightful. We'll unzoom this code. Yeah, and I think the only thing that's going to be missing here, yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Yeah, this is actually the better code because it still has our debug. 2 instances, this should be great. 1, 2, create, join, start. Dab. All right, so yeah, this is all good. The only thing we don't have is a hammer, and we're not very concerned with a hammer, but we do want our lake level. I thought I only put 3 items in there, but there's 5 of them. Now I'm going to close this down real quick. And we're going to go up to the backup lake. And I think we've got a really simple task to do here, and that is just to extract the cool new lake thing that we did. Environment, map lake. Map lake. So we go here. Let's do desktop. Look at all those screenshots and screen recordings. We're going to go map lake. Any interesting assets? Yes, there are a couple of assets we need to grab. Mesh, mushroom rock terrain, lake. We need Gem Lake 1, S4 crater, Gem Lake with land. These lakes right there. We just drop that into this. And we know that these go into assets. Throw physics, already fun. Yeah, I have to find a game. So please hit me with all your actual game ideas. The only idea I have so far is that one player needs to walk around on the ground with like a basket or a net of some sort, and the other player has to scale the cliff and throw gems or throw mushrooms down to that player, and they have to catch them in the thing, otherwise they'll break on the ground. And that creates like this cooperative experience with the physics and the throwing. But I don't have any other game beyond that. I need like shared activities that we can do that are challenging but not too much work to implement. And the struggle I'm at right now is I want to make a game, but my scope just keeps ballooning. So if we add things like enemies and we add different challenges, like I've got to make an environment, I've got to do map design, I've got to do enemy design, I've got to do enemy AI. And at that point, I'm just like building something like Minecraft or Valheim, where there's collection, there's combat, there's all these different things. I'm trying to find like a more isolated activity that's accomplishable by one person. So far, I don't have any ideas, and I'm not really extremely happy. I need ideas. When you're spawning on non-player nodes with multiplayer spawners, do you do anything to keep the names synced? Great question. So I will use the add child function, and when you add child Godot, there's a couple things you can do. You don't have to keep the names in sync as long as, well, I mean, just call the same function on all the machines that need it. That means the names will be the same, but you can do add child. It says force readable name true, and this will basically give a node name that is like rock 1, rock 2, rock 3. And as long as you're responsible for what you're adding and what you're deleting. I'll admit I struggle with the co-op side. I tend to have interests in persistence, life simmy stuff. Yeah, I think those are good games. I love simulation type games where you're like building up a factory, or incremental game even. Would you consider making it a mini game like Mario Party? You have to make a gameplay loop. I think a Big Hike could have some cool ideas. That is a game, the Big Hike, is it the Big Walk? I might think you might be talking about this. It's a really cool game, and they have like games in here and then this big environment. It's cooperative. Absolutely genius, right? And it's made by the people who did a couple of smaller games and um, House developer. They did, yeah. These are clever games. Untitled Goose Game. Not. I don't want house. I got houses. Okay. Anyway, great game. Yeah. So this is a little bit more like a full loop with Peak because you're looking for challenges and puzzles and one of my inspirations, obviously, and the Big Walk. They have a way of like they manipulate sound. Like here in this image here, um, the players are holding up these things. Let's see if I can make this bigger, but they're holding up these puzzle pieces. This is a soundproof barrier, and the soundproof barrier makes them communicate with pointing and nodding and yes and no, which I love because this is what's called information disparity. And what's up, Skywalk? I see you smoking like usual. Welcome back. We're making some new games. Yeah, Big Walk. Um, and they have these mini games in there, and I would be happy to make a mini game. I think to answer your question, do you need a full loop? Um, I think my goal in the next 2.5 weeks for this Christmas break is to have something playable in a mini game format. Like the loop will be a mini game because I've got all this work to think about in the long term. But what if I could do essentially a game jam and obviously stream a lot of it? And I was thinking stuff like fishing, hunting, cooperative activities, or um, collecting stuff. But having a challenge there is an antagonistic force is really hard for me to think about because you just naturally want to add combat. You naturally want to add enemies, and that adds so much scope. Um, because you have to make the environments interesting, and then you have to make the enemies interesting in terms of AI, behavioral AI, really. But so they've solved this with challenges that you go around and discover, and they have these beautiful, big old environments, and it's a really cool, nice contrast because they use these basic polygons for these buildings, and you can spot them a long way away, and then they have this realistic forest. It's a really interesting game, really interesting mix, and I'm excited to play this. And they have some, I think, some really good ideas here. But Peak is one of the reasons I'm working on these games because there's obviously an appetite for these co-op exploration type games, and the antagonist in Peak. Let's go. I've got a planning doc here. The antagonistic force in Peak is resource. Like you run out of health, you run out of food, you're starved to death, and then time, resource is the enemy, really. Like, or you're up against the fog rising. So I've got all these mechanics. So the physics, body shaping stuff would be interesting as possible, even without VR. Yeah, I can do as much as I want with skeletons, and inverse kinematics is coming to Godot. So inverse kinematics is a system where you can animate things without having to specifically animate. So we've got Springbone here, and I've got some ragdolling. And in this one, we've got 4.6. We've got our, finally we're landing. I'll have to get used to these, but the sky's the limit in terms of tweaking these bones. So this one, yeah, this is gonna grab and throw this thing, limit angular velocity. So, and I'm confident enough to be able to sync these across multiplayer instances because I know exactly which pieces to sync and which pieces to leave off of the multiplayer synchronizer. But these are really interesting. I'm not planning on them yet, but I'm trying to so one of my ideas for this like mushroom game is to have like your lives or your reinforcements. You have to regrow your mushrooms, and how you spend your lives or regain them is kind of how the difficulty scales. So maybe you need to you make yourself into a mushroom bomb, right? And your friend throws you because we have the ability to throw players. You can throw anything. And I was thinking like Zelda's bomb flowers. Um, it's got like a timer. And then let's see if I can make this bigger because let's see hotkeys. There we go. And I just can't get there in terms of like the design and something that's achievable in 3 weeks. Yeah, you replant your friends, so I could work in that direction. So yeah, I'm just trying to think like what are the so this would be what is the antagonist, In Peak, it's interesting because you have to kind of like walk around stuff. You've got poison ivy, bad spots, gas, what do you call it? Those things you step on, the spouts. Oh, God, vents. Those are always fun. Traps. We could do like swinging items, swinging rock, saw blades. Just a meat grinder. And you have to get this cart from A to B, right? Because we have these carts too. Maybe we get rid of enemies because I think enemies are going to be too much for this like game jam. So all y'all keep throwing shit into my brain. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to be on like I don't know, like 8 or 9 hours today. So we'll keep we'll make this game. It's gonna be fun, and I'll put it on the browser, and everybody can join and play it. Temporary mind control cordyceps. I agree. I'm not big on. I love it. Great idea. Because we have a mushroom theme, right? Um, I, so a lot of this would be environmental design, but yeah, I'm not big on enemies. Like traps would be, yeah, traps would probably, yeah, avoid enemies. I think we're gonna scratch enemies. I think as a group, like we can just say like, hey, um, let's strike through enemies. PvP vibes, hex, yeah. I like the aggregate swinging, maybe repelling. Yeah, verticality design. So I have done grappling hooks in the past. In fact, I have like an older game that I made called Hook game. And it's based on Roadhog's hook from Overwatch, but it also has a grappling hook. So I love the fact that he snatched it. I love the fact that you grab people and pull them, so but you can also grab yourself and it's actually a fun game, this PvP game. So I've done 3D grappling hooks before. Let's see if I actually use the grapple. I'll let you watch this while I go to the bathroom. Worlds Adrift player here, huh? PvP. So yeah, the hook is I mean, it could still just be like a skeleton hand. I don't know, but it works better in first person rather than third, but might work as like a Spider-Man type thing. I'm envisioning elongating yourself as a mushroom bridge. Yes. That to me is a really promising direction too. So maybe one of the skills you have is to basically elongate yourself and turn yourself into a bridge for the cart to pass. I think we have that in the design doc here somewhere. We're all over the place here. But yeah, we've got all these mushroom people, and then we had like this tank of your expendable resources that you need to like replant your friends with. So we saw it like, oh, the bridge is out. What do we do? We got to throw our friend over then, and he can repair the bridge. Or look at that enoki mushroom guy. Perfect. Got mycelium. You could have a tall friend or a big friend that you could replant, and then of course the Helldivers. You know, but yeah, this right here, peak. This thing is really good. They have one too. They have the exact same thing. In fact, they one for one copied the visibility. I don't really like that. I think you could at least make it visually different if you don't make it functionally different. They have a drop and hold to throw. We currently just have drop and throw on separate buttons, so kind of curious about that. Have it once and having a bridge could say reduce until the bridge is done, repurpose decay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because so in Godot we have the ability to create a rigid body, and that rigid body could be a like a brick or a plank, right? So we could just turn you into a, let's go like this, something for your buddies to walk across. Is there a straight line button? Oh yeah, baby. Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely something to think about. Precision eraser, just erase this. There we go. Cool, I love these tools. Yeah, my buddy came up with a couple of these like um pulling and throwing, and these are fun ones. So just got to keep the scope down, so I don't think we need, maybe these are easy to do, like these little tick enemies can find you, but then that means I have to do a navigation map, but unless they just get on you by walking through an area, so that could be nice. I like ticks in peak. Walk through area negates need for Nav map. Nav mesh. And I don't like rebaking nav meshes in game, and it can work, but God, I was so bad at that. All right, what was I supposed to do in the game? I was supposed to get this lake. Yeah. We've got so many cool ideas. I guess, I'm not on a shortage of ideas. I said, "Oh, I don't have any ideas." And clearly I have some ideas, but you know. God damn it, fucking visual code. I got to get rid of this stupid thing. I'm kind of actually now that I want to I can actually go ahead and like raise a PR against that other just look at it. How many things change? What's the list? Like 183 files changed. Really? This is just in a straight up addition? I already have that in here though, I believe. We're on main, right? No. I'm almost certain that we're gonna be all right with going back to main. Do 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 dum do do. I fucked up some files here. Perfect. Now, let's go get our lake. Put these in the assets. We know these go in the mesh. In terrain. Boom. Done. Tab back over, get those in, reload the project. Now, we add our scenes. Let's also look at our world script. What have we got here? Yeah, we need to, no, we have this, but I think we'll rename it. One step at a time. Take it easy. Regenerate those UUIDs. Let's go look at the lake. It looks great. Actually works. We're going to make this a vibe. Nice and small. A little bit of lake. What if we added a glow to each one of these trees? That could be nice. And then we baked the light map. Let's say, yeah, I would love to bake. I've got to learn how to bake the light map better. Bracky's actually has a tutorial on light, and he's pretty good at. I just gotta go do the work. Okay, let's get this world script back up to date. Can I filter based on just GD? Um, cool. All right, so now the world has a lake small. Let's choose river. Run that. Oops. Looks like there's a problem still. Map river. It's done. Okay. We'll be able to check that lake out in just a second here. Oops. I don't know if this will work now. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Now, drop down. That's what we were trying to do the whole time. Lake small. You could also think in terms of, well, one round success, more better next round, game balance ideas. Yeah, so maybe if you finish with more spores or reinforcements. Oh my gosh, they're underwater here. Oh, this lake is so cool though. Look at this. I'm in the lake. It feels really fun. I think we need some extra like lights on each one of these mushrooms, and we'll be kind of good to go. We'll some collision. Then I could just imagine like fishing here, swimming around, and you know, I like that. I like it. I like it. I like it. Look at the lake. Look at the lake. Let's go in here. It's hello, Jesus the best. We're making a little multiplayer game. Can you help me? How do I generate noise values? And you're talking about like 2D noise. So when you go like a sprite or a texture, or in code, or I don't know. I'm not a big noise expert. Let's say noise for terrain. Yeah, Blender. I'll show you exactly what I think you should use. Here we go. Blender. All right, so now if you have Blender, all you have to do is go in here, delete your cube. Now, get ready. We're going to get our sidebar open here so you can see all the little plugins. We've got this create terrain. This is another noise to ANT. It says another noise tool. We hit landscape. Oh boy, we got one. Now over here on the left side, we have our presets. We can get some canyons, some dunes, and then Mesa looks good. We can change some of the seed here. If we go like seed, we can change. The one I used was river. I think river is really nice, or lake. Let's see, river. Yeah, so I use that to make a level. And then you can obviously expand it out. this way. You know, this is amazing. Okay, yes. So how do you get this? Watch this. So this should be in your Blender. If you have a new version of Blender, I believe you can go to Preferences, and then you can go to the Get Extensions tab. I believe you go to Get Extensions and you search for ANT landscape, and if it's not there, you'll have to go grab it somewhere. But you should be able to just enable ANT landscape. So I'll type that here. So that should be it. That should be somewhere where you can get it. I think, where is it? It might be in the add-ons or the get extension section, but you'll be able to enable that. And then again, you grab it from the side. The only trick is that once you do landscape and you choose something like volcano. Okay, we made a volcano. Once you click off of it, that preset window is gone, and now you've got to delete and then create with this button again to get that preset back. It'll load what you just did. So, but basically it'll bake it once you go to make any other edit. So you have to have this open, and then there are some like smaller tools in here where you can like regenerate, but now I've lost those presets, so I can still like change this a little bit. So, oh god, there we go. I could still like do, I think I can change like maybe the seed, I don't know. Let's see, offset, mix. Let's look at our I don't know. I just changed a bunch. Oh, there's the random seed. There we go. So I can change this. It's not regenerating like active right here, but then I can regenerate, and there we go. But I can no longer access the presets. So it took me a long time to figure out that I had to create another one. So now I have two here. So this one will let me grab the river. You can see the rivers under there. Would this allow terrain destruction in Godot for like a survival game? So for that, you're gonna need like a regenerating mesh, and you're gonna need to bake that. So I think you would look on YouTube or something for that, because that's gonna be not in Blender. That would be like a actual mesh, and you're gonna need a plugin or some other solution that I can't give you. But we have like this river that we made. It's not deformable, but it's got like cliffs that we saw in the Blender plugin. And when I actually go to publish this game, I will get a real environmental artist. And yeah, I thought about doing like mesh regen, but you have to regen the collision map, and if you have enemies, you have to regenerate the nav map. And that ain't worth it. That ain't worth it. You know, I did see on Reddit someone doing this in Unity very well though, and I wish I'm pretty sure I wanna look at it, like try it out. I can't find it now. Whatever. You should make it into a video tutorial. Oh yeah, you know, I'm not really the Blender guy, but I could make a short. I've got my content's more around like multiplayer. So we got a little lobby system here, and we can join the lobby, and yeah, we're pretty happy with this lake right now, but we got to not spawn in the middle of the ocean, huh? We also want to add some buoyancy. Thanks, bro. Your game is looking good. Thank you. It's a work in progress. We could get this fire in the lake map. Put it here. Then we do need to, how are we going to determine the spawn point? I mean, world center is fine. And we want to... I'm wondering if we do the lights on the scene, like we can do the lights on the mushroom scene, or we can do the lights individually placed. I think it'd be better if we make a new mushroom scene. So let's go mushroom. So we have mushroom scatter tree open anyway. This thing is not here. Yeah, I think we want to use one of these two. I think we'll actually delete these. Because even in the river, I don't think we're using glowing tree now. Mushroom tree node. Let's see what we've got. Environmental objects. We've got big mush tree, I think. Yeah, we do not have the other mush tree, which I like. That means I can actually save this, go over here. I can delete these two. Can I delete these two? What's this item? This says mushroom tree scatter 2. Okay, I can do delete 1. Okay, done. And then we go like this. Save and close. Don't save. Mushroom tree has been yeah, it's been removed. I know. But multiplayer spawner is where it's complaining about that. Multiplayer spawner? I never had that in a multiplayer spawner. Yeah, that makes sense. One more reload. I love how fast Godot reloads. No errors. Fuck you. Let's go to the spawner. I don't think I don't have anything on here, right? There's no tree. That was a bad search. The word tree is kind of used a lot, isn't it? All right. Let's go to the mushroom tree. And here we are. We have a collision shape. That's fine. What does it say? Non-uniformly. Let's just do this. And okay. That's going to be fine. Perfect. Okay. So we've reset that. We reset this. Mushroom tree scatter, and we go like this. We go light. What kind of light? An omni light? Let's try an omni light. And we'll just have a nice gentle glow here. Let us make the range quite large. The light color, we need like a little bluey, like, you know, maybe even a little purpley. That's fine. And let me just kind of look what that looks like in the lake. They're all gone. All of them are gone. Reload. They're back. We have a preview. Let's do a camera. Let's go over there. We're going to aim this camera left and then down. Wrong way. God, I hate the, you know, sometimes I just can't manipulate these cameras right. That's good enough. Okay, so let's look what that looks like. Okay. I don't see my energy level, so let's brighten it up, save, and then refresh the page. I still don't see that light coming through. Let's see. Got mushroom tree scatter. Mushroom tree scatter. I'm curious why, you know, we're going to look at our scatter and we're going to say the Performance is going to use create copies. Aha. Keep static colliders. Refresh. And they're all under the ground, aren't they? They're all gone. Where'd they go? So where'd they go, guys? Are they any here? I see them kind of like hanging out there. Is it something we did here? Let's try that. There they are. Hello. And they're glowing now because we did create copies instead of use meshes. Mesh instances are more efficient on the CPU, but this is small scenes, so we want those lights. So we're gonna change this to 0. Aha. Now when we look at our preview, we've got these lights coming through. Yeah, and we can go back to our other seed. Like, what seed did we have? Like 0? Yeah, there we go. Now, what I think is going to be better here is a spotlight. So spotlights are going to be a little more resource efficient rather than omnilights. So we want most of this to be pointing downward anyway. So let's do this to a spotlight. And, you know, we obviously need the cone to be pointed downward. So when you go negative, it's not the right one, negative 90. Yeah, down. Okay. So now when we have a light here, a light source, we can kind of center it there and play with it. You know, we'll see what this does. But now we can increase the range here, decrease the angle a little bit, maybe. You know, maybe some combination of the two. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is that there's not much attenuation on this. We can look through the camera. We can see it's glowing a little bit, but not as good as our other light. So we got to figure out exactly what's going to be the best way to do this. But one thing we can do is we can decrease our attenuation. This should make it a little more clear. Let's see, reload. There we go. So now we can see that there's more light there. Keep putting that angle down. Say maybe we can turn up the volumetric fog energy. Let's see. So we've got them kind of doing the thing. We might actually want a wider, but one thing we do need to do is we need to drop this down a little bit. So that means we're going to edit position and we're going to go negative Z, like 4 or 5, say negative 4. Not negative Z, negative Y, please. That's going to be the down direction now that we're the right. Boop. So we planted them in the ground a little bit. It's too much. Yeah. And then we could randomize transformations. So the position Y, we could say like 3, and now they're going to be a variety of different, say a little bit less, 2. Z3, let's say 10, and then 10 on the X as well, because they're not trees. They kind of can twist and move whichever way they want to move. So now we can see that that light is kind of extreme there. So let's actually change this angle even more narrow, but less attenuation. And this maybe just down a hair. Increase this. Now they're kind of blasting. Let's look what it looks like. That's kind of cool. We're still not great at light. We almost want like some some sort of a wider angle, actually. There we go. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. Environment design can be really fun. I wonder if we could like do it reflective. Like what if we flipped it? What if we made this so that I don't think this is going to make any sense, but what if we did the other way and had it glowing from below, and then when we bake you know, these are going to glow, or we could, you know, we could add emission to it. There we go. Actually, that's kind of fun. Maybe we can do like a little combo of both. Right. Anyway, I'm going to drop in and see what that looks like. Yeah, we got to fix these spawn locations. I'll put that on the list. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. They're definitely glowing. It's kind of interesting. But they definitely do look like they're coming, it's not coming from the right like angle. So we kind of, maybe we switch back to Omni. It's just fine. Oh, it is an Omni. Why is it still an Omni? Oh, it's called Omni because I just named it that node, but it's a spot. I think we need like a combination. Let's see what it looks like when we flip this to 90, negative 90. Yeah, that doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't have the... That's not what we want. We almost want like an emission, so... What if we got here in this mesh, and then, yeah, we could just like add some emission, right? What if we just add some emission? Oh, it has emission, but it's all... It's not really what we want, but you could just do that. You could just go crazy. Oh, baby. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Hell fucking yeah. That's what we want. We're back. Boop, 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 boop. Let me go grab let me throw some emission on some other stuff. Why not, right? We've got a cap here, a mushroom cap on here. Mushroom cap. Mushroom cap. My computer sounds like it's taking off, like let's turn up the glow. Too much glow, holy God almighty. It's very glowy in here now. That might be too much as well, but I don't know, this additive thing whole, it's like we're just having fun. I don't know why that rim on that fire looks so good. I didn't do anything like. It's probably too much glow. So my computer is really not liking something going on here, so let's see what we can do. Maybe it's Blender. I've never heard it like overheating like this, so let's see if we can't cut down some processes. I'm gonna give my computer a little break. I'm gonna give myself a little break by going to eat some lunch, if that makes sense to y'all. Should be back real soon, like. All right. we still have everything up here. I'll just go like this. What is that? What am I doing? This? Yeah, I'll be back. Be back in a sec. That worked. Where my headphones at? All right, done. Play test. Friend Jim play test. Oh God, everybody, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? 2.8 gig. Seems kind of large. Ba-dum, pop, ba-dum, ba-dum. Oh, shit. Oh, uh, hmm. Might just go rest for a little bit and come back. Um, Hi. Yeah. Yeah, we've got so many great ideas. We've got to just lock in and execute. Feeling much more confident now. Got to fix the spawn. That's... I don't think I like the spotlight now. Do some other light sources of some sort. But when we have this emission, we've already got it at 12. But let's just... It's all the way up. And let's... There. No, those are off. What other light sources? Yeah, I think we have to add an Omni light. It's gonna be fine. Shadow? Why not? And refresh. It's kind of tricky because, you know, where should this light be located? It wants to be like in here, but then you won't see it. It wants to be slightly below. Sort of. Hey, corporate job is making me unhappy. Tell me about it. I'm happy to listen. I'm in, you know, similar boat with a corporate job, and luckily it is now Christmas break, or at least nobody will be paying any attention to me for until January. So, gonna be here working on fun projects. It's a weird job market. You know, it's I've been siloed for too long and it's getting to me. I definitely think that tends to happen with remote jobs in particular. Are you full remote, like me, or do you get to go into an office? Is it like an organization-based thing where you could look into transferring, or do you gotta depends on the size of the company too, how easy an internal transfer is, but I just finished an internal transfer and I am much happier. I am gonna be great. I'm gonna be happier going into the new year. I was fairly miserable um in October. Can't really transfer, yeah. And at this point it's tough to look externally, but that's kind of what you gotta prepare for in some ways, right? Um, as much as that sucks, I've learned that it can be scary, but ultimately, you know, taking a step like that or just moving small steps towards it ultimately can end up being the right thing and you just feel better. But the job market is such a strange spot right now because the reason I had so much trouble with my job over the summer is they cut like half our department. And you know, some of my favorite folks just disappeared overnight and we were directionless and siloed, like you said. Like our segment was deprioritized in several ways. Like obviously if they're cutting people and like how do you react to that, right? Like I don't really know. Perfect. A little bit of light. No, let's try a value like 0.8. It's kind of interesting. Then maybe we can just bring that range way down with that value. Yeah, I don't really know how to make light work. And like, as much as I'd like to do something I really love to do and are passionate about, like, you know, that's part of making the job tolerable is that it's um, something you want to work on and have stakes. And but yeah, I do think that like working remotely is generally very isolating in some ways. And this doesn't bring me a lot of joy, but it does have other benefits because I don't have to commute in like a terrible traffic capital. I do care about how I work. So my issue, and I don't know what your issue is in terms of being siloed, but my issue was underutilization. Context switching and being given half-baked products to finish is burning. Ay, ay, ay. That sucks. Half-baked boys and girls, and then Sheesh. Let's see the roughness metallic here. It's 0. Maybe we can get a little specular. We can get a little specular with it. But I do want to change the UV size. Context switching, yeah. I mean, so yeah, I guess they're probably getting a lot of valuable work out of you if you're there to clean up other people's crap. Sounds like you have some job security, but burnout is real. I found that in times of like my highest burnout, I could trace it back to poor um, personal choices in terms of being over available, not eating right, not exercising right, not sleeping well, and not having boundaries. Like I was sleeping in the same room as my computer. I would roll out of bed, get on the computer, and I would just be miserable the whole day. But when I changed some habits, eating well, sleeping well, exercise, losing weight, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's gonna go a long way. And like those changes don't happen immediately. You're gonna have to, you know, I still struggle with it. I haven't been sleeping great, but I have such a better day when I sleep well. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, being set up for failure. So yeah, that's rough because like you definitely could feel that way, and you know how you feel about it. Um, Especially if your manager isn't protecting you from some of this or isn't on your side, or that can be even worse. Here's a project half baked, you finish in a month because you promised the client. You also know nothing about the domain. Eek, and they're client facing. Oof. Yeah, and clients can have all sorts of demands that aren't, you know, compatible with good business practices, and people won't draw limits, and seen it all. It's like the client has to have this or else we'll go under. That sort of thing makes you burned out if it keeps happening. I'm completely aware of shipping client facing things under tight deadlines. Luckily, I'm like a little bit removed from that now, and I'm not on call as much. But then when I had all that plus on call, I actually like collapsed. It was during COVID, like the peak of COVID. We were online all day, all night. I had been on call from forever, and I was in a meeting at like 6:30 because I was working with the California people, and I'm East Coast, and I hadn't slept at all, and I actually like physically started stammering, lost my words, and my boss was really pissed at me because she said, "If you are feeling that way, you need to take a break." Da, 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 da. I was like, she didn't understand. But yeah, that was my highest burnout time, and that was it's so like it was such a weird the way she treated me after that was really sad. Um, and she won't return my messages on LinkedIn when I was searching for a job. Like now I think about it, like maybe that's why. I don't know. She just wanted to grind us into dust, which she did, and the project shipped. And she's now a big wig director. So I guess that could be another reason she didn't answer my LinkedIn messages. I sent her 3 different messages. Whatever. Anyway, you got it seems like you're taking the right steps, and like sometimes some healthy detachment, and you know setting some boundaries in terms of your working hours and stuff like that. But see what I did to avoid burnout. I don't know. Not very good at it. But yeah, you kind of have 2 options. You either like make changes in your current role, or you kind of like check out and look for something else. Neither is ideal. Stuff. I feel for you. We've all been there in ways. For getting new project managers, the old one was kept throwing me under the bus. Okay, good. Yeah, some change of personnel. In my case, change of manager is good because my manager is annoying and they fired our PM. Our product manager was laid off, and like the whole project got like shafted after that. It's like obviously so I switched projects, switched teams. My official start date is the 6th or so of January. So I'm like 1 year in at my current role, and I was able to switch teams. So that's another reason I do like to work at like a slightly like larger company in terms of market cap, is because sometimes they have these internal opportunities, and I like there's trade-offs. And if they are gonna lay me off, I could get a decent severance. But whee, he's getting his ass kicked. We need to add the buoyancy for sure. Try to stick it out and see what happens. Yeah, and like especially like in this economy, in this market, having any job is better than having no job, and just $0 is not a good amount of income. Like somebody told me, like, man, zero does not compound, but if you have like $2 a day or whatever amount, anything greater than zero is a good amount to make. So let's look at this. What if we could tell our players to pick a different set of coordinates, like a random. Yeah, let's look at the world. We have an add player to world, but what actually determines where they land is in random spawn, and random spawn currently doesn't take any account of where the map is. And I think I'll shortcut this while we're just in our working mode by looking at the let's look at it from left-handed, Z down, right, Z up, Y up. Okay, so what we want is negative on Z and positive on X. It's very easy to see with the little gizmo in the top right side. Spawn. So let's go to spawn. And so we want, I said negative on Z. So let's go -4 to -8. And then positive on X. Let's go 4 and then X. Some random response. And we have a ×3 on there. That might be too much because let's just test it out. Probably be outside of the map, honestly. Perfect. Okay, we landed on the island. That's an unexpected twist. We wanted to be over by the campfire. So the conclusion I can make is that maybe is this, but why? Am I looking at this wrong? Positive X. Oh, X is the first one. Duh. Z is the last one. I don't know why I thought X. I think I was thinking in 2D X and Y. So we just swap these. We go positive here and negative there, and we'll do exactly as intended. Yeah, sticking it out is not the worst case. Making some changes, doing some personal time, and just kind of, throwing stuff in the void. Like, some days are better than others. Oh my god, we got stuck in this. We got stuck in a. Okay. Edges are getting a little toasty. Yeah, I've been in scenarios where I have been really crispy, really toasty, and that same job I was at Splunk, which is a big like um, observability sort of platform, and stakes were so high, and the customers were knocking at the door, and um, I've kind of run over some people in meetings and stuff, and kind of regretting a little bit of that, and it was all very easily manageable with some deep breaths and some better caretaking. Um, but those are the lessons you learn, and I I assume you're not a beginner here, so I think you definitely know how to do what you got to do. It'll work out. That's the other thing is like it might be a little weird and bizarre there and here, especially with like the administration we have, and if you're in the US, and even if you're not, like it's just a weird time everywhere. So perfect spawn now. Perfect spawn, everybody. That guy's name is Memes, and that's Memer. Memes and Memer. Yay! Yay! Memer, come back! Memes wants to grab you. Let's see if it says Memer body. Memer body. And then I'll ragdoll, and we'll both ragdoll around. Whee! We're both ragdolling. It's a lot of fun. Administration. Server admins? Huh? I don't think I mentioned like server admins. What do you mean when you said administration? Oh, the current administration, the White House, the United States of America. Our governing bodies are fucked up. The Fed, yeah, they are in a place of absolute uncertainty. Yeah, haven't followed. I'm gonna go and chalk that up to sarcasm. That's pretty funny. You haven't followed U.S. politics in the last like 5-10 years? I think you might have a pretty good idea. I think you're Canadian, right? Like, is that maybe I'm thinking of somebody else? But some of the same kind of issues up there too. Yeah, you're U.S. based. Okay. All right. Well, then I'm assuming you might have heard the dysfunction. But it's especially around here because it's I'm in Washington D.C. area, and a lot of the government disruption is affecting job market specifically here, and it's just unfortunate. We just can't like have steady, even-handed with like obviously tariffs and recession, and now we're not reporting job numbers, we're not reporting unemployment, we're not reporting any of these statistics that are part of a functioning government, or a functioning economy. And so it's very much a sort of a very strange economical like environment, like on Wall Street. On Kalshi is legal, so we can bet our life away. Hey, it's not betting, it's finance contracts. Okay, no gambling. I'm just playing with you. I agree. Yeah, we can. They want to make it's like these are tradable assets with futures values, and it's so cringe, and it's incredible. You can bet on anything. It's just a gambling scam world out there, and very, very bizarre times. That's all I'm saying. But woohoo! We've got a 2-month streak. Wow! I wish I had like little that's something on my to-do list, is to get some like reactions, like woohoo! Yippee! The yippee! I'll do that off stream sometime because I can test them out. But thank you. That's really cool to have at least one. I've got like 2 or 3 subscribers. I'm growing. what we're doing is we're doing more YouTube content for, especially for like network, and we're gonna make some shorts and stuff. So we've seen some growth there. Let me check my YouTube comments. Okay, good. Nobody's going on there. So the next step for the map, we want to see what it looks like if we bake the light, and it might set our computer on fire. But we could also enable screen space occlusion, SAO. You know, that's an extreme spawn right there. So let's cut that down a little. That was on the access. I was on the Z-axis. I think we should just cut both of them. SSAO, screen space ambient occlusion. We can just toggle that on right now. And just how much is it? How is the Mac gonna handle that? Macintosh is not. Sword Art. Amazing first season. Amazing. But I didn't watch after that first. Like, they kept playing that one moment of all his team just getting fucked up over and over again. That's so funny. That's a million years old now. Yeah, you didn't watch after the first season. I agree. Like, I mean, I think I watched the first couple episodes or something. It was Was it fairies or was that the gun one? I don't remember. I was like, this is just completely jumped the shark. Great conceit. I think someone should remake that show, just completely redo it. But this is ambient occlusion, darkens their corners and cavity. Yeah, that works for all small dynamic, but baked, light, and ambient will do better occlusion textures. I don't want to with this. True. Cherry pick the top anime of the year. Yeah, anime casual. Yeah, I'm cool with that too. I like that strategy a lot because you kind of get the best of it, and yeah, you get to enjoy it and not have to be bogged down in seasons that don't go so well, or like One Piece. Not One Piece. Oh my God, One Punch Man. The first couple seasons of that is great, and then I hear the newest one isn't even good. Please don't watch One Piece. I saw the funniest joke, and I'll try to retell it really quick from Twitter. It was like, "Oh man, I wish I could watch One Piece again. I got one wish from this genie, and the genie, what will you wish for? I wish I could watch One Piece all over again." And it's like, wish granted. And he's like, I want no memory of that. Okay, I'm fucking up the joke. And then he goes and opens it up. He's like, fucking 1,000 episodes. I'm not gonna watch this shit. And he closes the tab. Okay, I fucked up the joke. But another one that I really liked was Made in Abyss. That was good. Made in Abyss. I haven't seen the second season because it's hard to find, but I've got the second season now downloaded via VPN. So that was another one. Of course, Demon Slayer. Everyone's seen Demon Slayer, but I did really like the writing in that show in terms of the characters, and it felt like a really genuine. Yeah, it's like, and I looked up the writer, and she's a female manga artist, so I feel like maybe she's just a very good like dialogue writer or character writer, and I think that carries over a little bit. So it's not your typical shonen like Jump sort of thing. So went into Demon Slayer being like, yeah, found you relate more to women writers. Yeah, same. The men written ones, they can still be good, like some of them, but I'm not as much of a Naruto or a fan like that. I'm more of a I love like Demon Slayer, and I didn't expect a whole lot. I thought it would be more like shonen, but it was actually pretty sweet and endearing. And there are some animes that definitely fit kind of a good characters, good writing. So yeah, I can tell you're a man of. Oh, Frieren, yeah, it's great. Yes, it's such a cute, just adorable show. And the pacing of Frieren is really unique in terms of it's sort of slice of lifey and just a great time, just a great environment. I love these fantasy anime. And then I watched some of Dungeon Meshi. But I didn't get through it because I was busy. And then I kind of was like, okay, I see the formula. This is really cool. But it felt very like, okay, we have this episode structure, and every episode structure is going to be like that. It was funny. Yeah, it was funny. It had some funny moments, but that's one that I would have probably watched like in the background rather than full. And it's kind of hard to watch anime in the background because, it's subtitled. Um, yeah, these are all great shows. Sort of it adjusts this. Yeah, I figured it might just evolve a little bit, and maybe I just didn't get that far in. Let's do global what do you call it? Light map. It juxtaposes the horror with the humor. Yeah, that's a fair point because it did have some like weird like sort of body horror stuff. Yeah, it slips into that side occasionally. Interesting. Yeah, I might have to. Yeah, I really love the concept too. Like, cooking and collecting your way through dungeons. It's like really clever. Um, there's a lot of animes in that kind of category of dungeon crawling that are good. And I haven't kept up as much with anime as of late. Baking Light Me is slower compared to a voxel GI. Let's look at a voxel GI. Real time supported procedural generation, exported project suitable procedure. Okay, that's cool. Relatively demanding is not suited to low ended. Okay. To improve performance, I think light map GI is our choice. This is what I wanted to know because we're not going to be regenerating procedural storm page light maps. Yeah, this is it. Maybe an anime about someone learning Lisp. Is there like a hacker or I don't know. There's like Ghost in the Shell or something. Hacker anime would be good. I don't know about Lisp though. Yeah, it's so interesting how like programming language kind of go in these cycles in terms of like FP or functional program being so like the vibes or so trendy. Um, and I think now like it's not as cool. It's like a little bit, maybe you don't need FP in a lot of cases. I used to love functional programming. It just like sets my brain on fire in the good ways. Yeah, it's hard to say. I still work in F sharp. Oh yeah, you know what? That's interesting because like you're not. I've talked to couple other people who really like F sharp. That's a very practical functional programming language, right? Like I've learned Haskell, and it was like I see the light, but I can't use this, and there are no jobs for it. It has a lot of weaknesses. Well, yeah, all languages do. I mean, I use TypeScript, like hell, fucking kill me. But yeah, I've seen some good things. I've seen some good things made with it, and loads up pretty good. So lightmap GI is baked, dynamic object, light probes. We don't need light probes here. Dynamic object, indirect lighting. Okay. Probes disabled. Okay. We do not need that. Okay. Okay. More frustrating than being hampered by the language itself. Yeah. Just that's unfortunate though. I don't know that once you're in a language and you really know it and you really feel like you're productive in it, I try not to be too harsh or reach for things outside the language. Just kind of accept it as it is and not get into it too much. But hey, it can be fun. Let's do gen probes. Data. Ooh, look at all these tweaks, quality, super sampling, bouncing. The denoiser bias. Texture map. Scene. Okay. Here it goes. There's a bake button here somewhere. Go. No meshes with light miner supported to bake. Make sure the UV2 data and global illumination is property set to static. Perfect. We can do that. This is a lot of information. Never half bake. I'm fully bake. Yeah. It's, you know, you might be aware of like an influencer like Prime again, who I learned algorithmic data structures and algorithms from Prime again on his course. And he's kind of had an interesting track over the last few years because he moved really big into Rust and did a ton of stuff as this Rust influencer for almost 3 years at least. Like, and I kind of joined that train too. And I think I'm glad I did. So it taught me all about memory management. And that's what I pulled away from it, is that I really got a good understanding of stack versus heap versus allocating memory, where I never had that background, and Rust helped me learn that. So I'm happy to have had Rust. And he has moved away from it back to, you know, garbage collected, basic stuff, get it done. And he's using a lot of Go. And I'm kind of following him, not following, but everyone's kind of arriving at this conclusion that, you know, while memory management in Rust is good, and like this whole borrow checker thing, and it's not actually, you know, taking that much cognitive load off in terms of managing memory manually. And then you might as well just use a garbage collector. So it's so interesting to me that these things are so cyclical. So I bet we'll cycle back around to FP, but right now it's a little bit out of. You called it very early on, yeah. I mean, I feel like I've called a few things like crypto being useless very early on. But yeah, OG Rust hater. I thought it was really cool because it had some nice FP principles and ways to do things, like, you know, like the guard saving. You know, it's just like really cool. It's like really interesting language. I think it's still good for like a subset of things that need all of the things that Rust needs, but your average application does not need Rust in any form or fashion. And then what really got me is like I actually started game dev in Rust using Bevy engine, and I never made a game before, and this was my first game as Bevy with Rust, and it is barely an engine. You can, you know, render stuff, and I follow some tutorials, but it's got just basic render loop. And I was trying to do some FP with it, and I was trying to add some UI, and the UI was just, it was god awful. Like, it was awful doing UI in Rust. Just awful. No matter what you use, there's like ice, Rust, GUI, like all iced. Yeah, this whole, like, this was so tough for me. Just like, we were not meant to do this. But when I found Godot, I was just like, yeah, it can be full FP, it can be full OOP, it can be type dynamic, it can be logic based. It can do all that, I guess, huh? That's why I settled on Lisp, because, oh wow, yeah, you want to do what you want, yeah. Really? I thought Lisp was like a pretty simple language, maybe. It's like not that many features, but maybe it's got everything you need for all those. But the reason I bring up Bevy Rust is then somebody wrote Rust game dev, why quitting? So somebody says, lessons learned after 3 years of full-time Rust development. Once you get good at this, it's like dispelling a bunch of myths. Once you get good at Rust, all these problems will go away. Yeah, I think I might have linked it to you a long time ago. It might have been, or you might have seen it on Reddit. But the big one was prototyping. Making a fun and interesting game is about rapid prototyping, and Rust values are anything but that. And I was like, no wonder I was like running up against like a. And so I found this thing like a year or two after I started using Godot. I was like, man, yeah, no, I'm just like, I can iterate so much faster here. Yeah, we're gonna set meshes light baking on our mushroom tree. I want to see that error once again, though. Maybe I'll just take a little screenshot of that. Oh, I can copy text. Oh, Godot's so good. Look at that. You can copy text. Godot. Godot. And like, Godot is the best software I've ever used. Simple language. Lisp is a family tree. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Get to use a base of C-like thing, and then build upon those foundations, huh? Lisp is just so intimidating in a few different ways that I never looked at it seriously. But people use it for games too. I forgot. Wow, it's a long-lived language. It's still around. You can use a Lisp process as your database. Mm-hmm. It changes how you think about programming problems for sure. That is true. Oh yeah, I've heard scheme closure. Are you a closure person? Because I've read a lot about Rich Hickey stuff. Hypersimple syntax, meta programming. Let's go. I like closure, but I also like scheme and CL. Commonless, yeah. That's a good one. Then that's where I've done a little bit of closure, and then I do love Rich Hickey's talks. He it's like hammock based development, you know. It's great, yeah. It's in such contrast to our crazy LLM driven vibe bullshit. It is very opinionated, yeah. And it's got to do the whole like replace Java thing, I think, right? So seems like a tough task, but there's some fanatical folks about that, and Kotlin, it's like a better Java, right? Ooh, yeah. I need some foot guns, okay? I need my languages to have plenty of foot guns. Just kidding. All right, so let's do the first one. Light baking static light maps. We can do that. So the way we do that is with our scenes. We've got this meshes. I don't know that the rocks have to have that, but Jim Lake with Island. There's no texture here, but we have light map, enable. Done. Enable. Sure. It's happening. It's all happening for us. And I don't think we're going to use this crater anymore, so we'll just delete that. Oh, this has tons of foot guns. Haha, there, now we're talking. Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like if I were to go ahead and learn another language, like I would love to learn Lisp from like a, intellectual curiosity thing, but Go would probably be more economically correct for job security. I think you list something opposite of us. Just for strict force. This is no right thing. Yeah, you could just, just throw it in there. It'll. It feels a little loosey goosey. I might be right at home though, because JavaScript is also very loosey goosey, and you've got to learn all the foot guns, or else you'll be shit out of luck. Yeah, I'm used to that. There's a reason I don't do Rust anymore. The freedom is addicting. Yeah, because then you can like compose and curry your way to victory. You could. Everything is a function. Yeah, I can see that being powerful. Or make your own syntax. Yeah, with metaprogramming, yeah. I know you can do a little bit of that in Rust, but I think that's actually one of the points that they don't like about it, but that's above my pay grade. Glowing tree. Let's try this one. What if I just go over to my actual tree? Can I get you to just bake a light map? Light map size hint. No, I cannot. Primitive mesh. Edit to add UV2. Oh, yeah. Well, then can we add a UV2? How do we do that? Primitive mesh. Here it is. Mesh. Add a view UV2. It's got one. Should be fine. Concurrency typically isn't defined in the language. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, concurrency is one of the strong points for Go with its coroutines and such, but I'm just like so over like having to make parallel processing concurrency, like canceling these long held promises and all that. It's like I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I mean, have fun. Yep. Yeah, I've read about the actor system, and like there was a point in my life where I was trying to like put actor systems into the fucking JavaScript code, and it's just like, yeah, whatever. It's I don't really know what the answer is. But there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Yeah, it didn't work. It wasn't my idea. It was a guy who he was more of an intellectual programmer than me, and I was like, let's do it. Yeah, that'll work. Didn't he had me reading like white papers and stuff, and I was like, it was a big growth thing for me, but that was not right. It's not the right fit for our banking software front end at capitalone.com. He blew up the project budget, and we never delivered, and I transferred teams because it's a good story. Yeah. This banking app. Well, I shouldn't show my banking app, but I worked at Capital One for many years on their web front end. I'm proud of a lot of stuff we did, but I'm not proud of that period because, yeah, we did a lot of cloud stuff, and God, it was so stupid and complicated. It was a good time. What if we? So this is not any longer the mesh that we're looking at. It's a primitive mesh. Can we show it in file system right here? Can I? Unwrap for light map AO. There we go. So this is the drop down that we're looking for. Don't force paradigms into languages that don't fit them. We all did in our younger days, okay? Sometimes you just I'm just teasing. In our young early days, we were all naive and ambitious, and yeah. And now that we're older and grizzled and senior engineers, we get to no greenfield. We're not rewriting the whole thing to use React. Sorry, sir. We got work to do. There's no giant refactors here for the new system. It's slow and steady improvement. Business. I do too. I used to use React a lot, and I do think it's an abomination. The funny thing though is that it was a big upgrade from the actual abomination, which was Angular. So if you look at them in contrast and you put them side by side, the easy choice. Now it's 2025 and React is a decade or more old, right? We shouldn't be using either. Angular 2, I use so much Angular original JS, and like, here's the thing, like original Angular and why it was so bad is that Angular was a thing they invented to do dirty checking on forms. And they extended that awful system into an entire framework template, whatever the fuck it grew up into be, and build system, everything. It just, all that grew out of a fucking dirty checker for a form. It's not that hard. It was really that's why they went to Angular 2 and Angular 6 or whatever. But I used Angular 1.35 for like 15, no. And then before that, I've got all these war stories. But that's always the funny part to me, is that it was literally Google's way of dirty checking a form, and they built out change detection on that. And now we have so many better ways of doing form validation. Never picked a lane with its state management, so it's cobbled together behemoths. Yeah, that's true. They didn't. I think they tried to, but everyone wanted to bring their own state management. When really, yeah, I mean, we went through so many MobX, X state is now like in trend, in vogue, and we did what was that other big one? Oh my god. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to do React. I don't want to think about React. Yeah, Department of TEA. What is TEA state? Is what the what is this? What does TEA stand for? Definitely not Texas Education. Here, the real fact of the matter is that the web is so good now. You can just use the web platform. You don't have to use React. You don't have to do anything. You can Elm architecture. Yeah. I did some Elm, and that was a pretty fun time too. But it wasn't a great fit for big enterprise applications, and Fortune 500s didn't want to do Elm. So it was kind of an uphill battle. Prop drilling was annoying and it's consistent at the very least and explicit. Yes, I do enjoy me some decent, I never wanted that like global context stuff going on. And funny enough, now we use like globals in our Godot project to get stuff done. And we're just like, yeah, we'll just throw a global here. This network global has been like the best thing because I can just call network join. It's fine, You can have an event bus where you signal up and call down. There are uses for globals. Yeah. And then what was great about their globals is that it made the app extremely inefficient in different ways. Like, you use their context, it would like blow up all the state of all the props throughout the entire app. It would never surgically update. So if I were to pick something like, I would actually use like solid.js, where you get to do some good stuff here. But we're now at our company using uh web components, like the actual. We're using lit. Yeah, I think you was it the Data Star? Yeah, I think that was this one. Yeah, this is definitely appealing. I like this approach a lot because just get the state out of the div, out of the UI completely. I think HTMX is gonna be. Wait, is this the meme one? Yeah. Yeah, these are good paradigms. We can just get away from this whole history, especially for Angular and React. We can just never look to those solutions again and we'll be happier. Not perfect, but I feel they're more sane, yeah. And then, you know what's so interesting is like some of those things that as we evolved through this all, like every step felt like more sane than the previous. So maybe we're just getting there. We're getting there to like there is something to like, signals and reactivity that is useful and productive. But the way they were, all the ceremony, like you said, is the problem sometimes. That's why I like Godot. You just kind of call a bunch of little APIs on some nodes and scene tree, and we're gonna bake this stuff. We unwrapped our mushroom. We imported a light map here. The dome doesn't have a light map, so we're gonna save this mesh as dome lake map dome mesh. And then we also click this button, unwrap UV2 for light map. That was fast because it's just a dome. Its ergonomics are bad, yeah. I mean, React's ideas, like, yeah, they definitely took us forward, but, they built on the shoulders of even some functional principles, right? Like, I'm sure they had those in mind when they did React because it's all about that immutable, call a function, expect the same result provided the same arguments. Your view is a function of your data. It's like, some buzzwords. What the fuck? There's a lobby going? Who's this? That's not me. There's somebody using my lobby. And I don't know which game they're playing. This is a weakness of my lobby system. F-stay is a good idea in general. I'm not sure we'll fully get there. Yeah, it's kind of a pipe dream, isn't it? All right, what do you think? You think these players are in my FPS shooter lobby? I need to include. Let me put that on my to-do list. Because I don't have any lobbies running. Like you look on my bar, I've got no lobbies. I'll quit Godot, restart it because we have some debug things there. I know it's not you. I'm just telling you. Somebody's looking at my stuff, and I can see them in there. I should definitely include the game in the lobby type that they've launched from. That's just gonna be easy to do. But they're in there somewhere because I can create a new lobby. What? Yeah, nobody testing. I see you. Somebody is using my lobby. I'm gonna guess they're playing the P2P shooter. It's probably the most public facing one. So let's see if we can drop in on them. All right, somebody joined that lobby. I think hello? It's bugged? No. In here? What are y'all doing? I see you, nobody. Nobody's starting this game, or if it was in progress, we would have been dropped in with the drop in, drop out. Yeah, create a new lobby. This lobby is bugged. I think it's some other game. I'm trying to think, like, maybe it's just like a lobby from earlier today and it didn't clean up. But that's not possible the way I have it running. Fun little. It's fun to see people using stuff, you know? That one's in draft status. Should make a mobile game. Make some money. Yeah, I think oh wow, yeah. Apparently oh, I do have this still open here. Okay. It's a big weakness of this game that it doesn't account for the game that we want to play. I have this select game menu that doesn't work here. So I'll fix that. But I really want to move to the new lobby system anyway, so you know, people over there can have fun, do whatever they want. Let's bake this light map. We've been looking at this for a while. Bake. Wait, what does this debugger say? Mesh terrain S4 crater. I don't care. Let's go to map lake 1. Map lake 1. I'm just gonna delete it. Keep a clean console. Easier to debug whenever you have an issue if you have a clean console. No broken windows. See something, fix something. I just deleted the wrong one. There we go. Easy solution. Yeah, I've got to have finished those. I've got so many unfinished projects, but as long as I'm having fun. One problem is that if someone has cloned my repository and is using that same Cloudflare link, theoretically they could be that I would be able to connect to their machine, and I needed a way to not do that. Hi, I want to play as the mushroom lamp. I spring back and launch my spores into a no location and other wobble around, annoying the real players. Hey, I love these ideas. It'd be great. You know, I could have my Twitch chatters play as the you know, the enemies, and anyone could load in and swap between the different traps or trees or anything, and they could swing and knock the player into the air, annoying them, and just swing your mouse around, and you can throw. Wee! That's not a very good throw. Okay, let's try baking this thing. Let's see what it looks like. 80, 32%, 50%, 60%. Probe acceleration structures. All right, let's see if it looks any different. Oh, it's taking much longer to load. It's almost as if my computer can't handle baked light maps at all. All right, we're gonna quit and try again. Is there a preview here? Let's see if it's a preview. Ooh, it's looking better. It's looking better in the preview. Okay. I've only got one person able to join at this time. It's almost as if my computer won't load two machines now. And all I did was bake this light map. Let's just reload here. It's so strange. It's an unconventional. We could be experiencing some let's try this. Let's do 3 instances offline, and then we'll server. We'll do switch our networking away from the one that I said switch our networking. So I need to go into our main menu, and we'll say this lobby menu. Yeah, we'll just do join here, because that's what we want to do anyway. That's pretty cool. But we need more. We need more lights. Bake mode, static. Okay. Make sure they contain all their global illumination properties set to static. Okay. Can we do global illumination static? Dome. Global illumination static. Digging it. Global illumination. What is this? A cylinder? A sphere? What is this thing? It's a nothing. What did I make here? It's fucking weird. Oh, I think I was making a dome. Okay. Rebaking. I don't really understand, but I'll be right back. Oh, did the files get released? What files? The files. I mean, the Grand Theft Auto leaks. No, I don't know, man. I know what you're talking about, but I don't really care to talk about it. It's fucked up. I don't know that this looks any better. I wish I could like maybe I can tell the edges of that. Can I tell the edges of the green line? I'm gonna duplicate it. Try the second one, and then I'm gonna is there like an edge shadow? It's way up there, isn't it? Is there a way to like tell the shadow to be like, oh, maybe I need a mesh. Maybe I just need like a cone mesh. Like that would be cool, right? So if we did a cylinder mesh, and I'm pretty sure you can tweak the top radius versus the bottom radius, and then we'll add an emissive material to it. So if we design this thing correctly, it'll look like a beam of light trickling down, and we could add like a shader to animate it. That could be fun. So we went the bottom. Yeah, see, look at this. It's a cone. And we just keep manipulating this thing until we're happy with it. But we should add a material first. And the material is going to be like one of those like bluish, like light color and transparency alpha. And the albedo will be like this. And then there's like some things we can do in emission. And I can brighten that emission up. You know, we can make it blue. And multiply. Oh, we have a we can even texture it. Ambient occlusion, subscale. I don't know what we're doing here. Oh, we can refraction. You know, there's all sorts of really cool stuff you could do here. Grow. Mesh based out. We can grow. That's fun. Transmittance? I don't know, we're just gonna turn stuff on for fun. Anisotropy applies to shape. Bent normal map roughness. What the hell? Fun. It's just gonna look like a tube. It's just not gonna look right, but you know. Oh, and it also is broken with our shader. Uh, and then we can put the light inside of it. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't know. So that's what we've got here. Uh, this is some weird ass shit. Transparency, blend mode, multiply. That's cool. It's fun. Now, it's inside of this thing. So I want the light to like penetrate this thing, rather than just like a museum light. It's kind of fun, but it now needs to be like super soft on the edges and stuff, and uh, so that's just not gonna work. Perfect. Yeah, we don't really know what we're doing here. I think we want light rather than a light to volume. So let's go back to this guy. This could be. What I want to know is how this I want like really sharp edges like this. There, so now it's the sharpest edge possible, but it's a ton. So if we decrease the attenuation below 0, just barely get it there onto the ground, and now we take our energy all the way down, like to nothing. How does that help? Oh, that's cool. The specular increases the. Where is this thing? It's up there. I'm just gonna look at it. Just kind of curious now. That's interesting. Like these crash, because my computer is having a fit with this baked light map. I think we should rewatch one of the YouTube videos to learn better how to use this node. Because we have you edited a lot of things and we haven't saved and we haven't I've got the starting soon text at the top of my machine. Let's get rid of that. We might take a break as well because, you know, breaks are good. Dinner time is good. Yeah, it's just totally borked. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It won't load to. It's almost like it's two light maps are trying to happen. Access at the same time. Yeah, it won't load the map. It's so interesting. So we have 3 instances and only one is visible and it's uncontrollable. That I do not enjoy at all. Oh, we don't have the light map on. That's funny. So the baked light map definitely had an effect when we changed this light here. I'm going to change this back down and I'm going to go XX1 offline. And this is going to throw up just the no network, just a guy in a world who's going to check out the light map. See, I don't see these casting shadows, which is kind of bad. That to me says that they're not included in the light map. So what I think we have to do is in the scatter, we need to create copies in game with output in tree. And now we do that, and then we bake the light map again. I do like how this looks so far. I'm just gonna go watch some resources, go watch the ARC resource. I've got 5 or 6 things on my to-do list, and we haven't done any of them, but we've been live for like 4 hours, 3 hours. That means I've got to take a break and refocus, come back at we're gonna come back at 7 o'clock here EST. So damn, we are really baking here. Maybe we'll have a more productive session later to. I don't really want to make it YouTube short, but that's the thing about YouTube is like once you start doing it, you've really got to dedicate yourself to it. Took a minute to bake. No, I still don't see any shadows on these. Which I don't understand why that might be the case. I'm blinding. Blinded by the light. Let's roll back. Roll back. Roll back. I really want this to have a shadow here. Oh, it says I want static on that. Maybe that's the problem. All right, here we go. Lots of experimentation. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I probably want to upgrade my Mac. I do not want to buy a Windows computer, but you know, maybe I do switch over to my NVIDIA card for baking, and it's just going to be a tremendously expedited workflow if I do Blender and level design on the Windows machine. As much as I'm sad to say, especially while I'm streaming, while I'm using these other resources, you know. Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back at 7:30. Maybe we'll be back tomorrow morning. Um, just depending on what we feel. I just want some shadows on those trees, and it's just not happening, huh? Oh yeah, it is. Fare thee well. Thank you. Nobody. Yeah, this tree should have a shadow, and it does not have a shadow. Whatever. The reason that might be, let's see. Let's just look at this mesh. Uh, editable children mesh, and so if I select this mesh, he has a shadow. Shadow mesh. Light map size hint right there. You see that? Let's do this one. What if we editable children this to see it has no light map shadow hint? We can do that by make unique. The light map is now there. Light map shadow hint. So I'm going to try one more time on this bake. Then we're going to come back and we're going to delete all this work and we're going to redo it. We're going to redo it on our Windows machine. So we don't have to sit here for 45 seconds every time we want to bake our light. The other thing is I've set up this scene in a way where the light sources are just shitty. So we need like lamps, we need this fire, but if I can get the shadow to show on this fire, that would be desirable in terms of just feeling like I have done it. I've done the task. And Brackeys has some good videos on this in YouTube, so lots of tutorials out there on baked light maps, and sometimes I have a bad habit of brute forcing my way through a task like this, and especially when the iteration times are slow, I need to stop and research. Let's see what happens. Come on. It doesn't look like he's got... yeah, it should be way more dramatic in terms of the shadow. Well, it does have a shadow. It's just hard to see with all the light. That's what the problem was. What about this one over here? Definitely no shadow. I can't tell. It's pretty cool looking, but I'm not really digging this at all. So call it a day. Call it a day for now. Take a break. Take a nap.